Alright, good morning everybody. Today we are going over a very quick crash course of ideologies in political and both economic spectrum. If you're looking at this right now, you're probably like, Miss Bigelow, this is complicated. And you know what? Politics and economics are complicated. But it is how the world works, so I just want to briefly explain. So, first of all, I just want to note this is the left wing. Left wing, there is more government control. That means that generally there is a more equal way of life in society. In the center, this is more balanced. And over on the right wing, that is less government control. There's more focus on privatization. And there's usually a larger wage gap, or there's a larger gap between the rich and the poor. Communism, generally China, Cuba, Laos, and Vietnam in today's society, or Communist Russia. These people had the most control over their citizens. They made all the decision making. They were allowed to make rules and laws without having any sort of input or advice from their citizens. Then we go to socialism. Socialism is kind of different. So we see this most in the Scandinavian countries like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland, Germany. These people still have the right to vote and have a say in government, but they generally pay way more taxes and everything is very equal. So usually it doesn't matter if you work at a coffee shop or you work at a clothing store, you'll get paid the same. They do put a higher respect level for like things like doctors, nurses, the public sector. Those people get paid lots of money. This socialist state means that people will always have an equal way of life. I know in most of the Scandinavian and European countries, education is free. That is paid through the taxpayers' dollars. Come to liberalism. Now, Justin Trudeau is a liberal. He's kind of in the middle. So we do have here in Canada, we have public health care. We have infrastructure. Like we talked about infrastructure, meaning there's buildings, roads. That is taken care of by the government. We do have some private ownerships. We have companies, construction, ways that people can make money that is not controlled by the government. Then we have conservatism. Jason Kenney is typically a conservative. He wants less government control, so more privatization. So one of the things he's been talking about is the privatization of healthcare. You could pay more money to get in quickly and not have to deal with the public healthcare system. Then we have fascism. Example is the Italian Mussolini. Mussolini created one party. There's no other party in competition with him during this time. So now that we've gone through that, I just want to touch base on some capitalism. Capitalism, right now, generally speaking, the United States of America is capitalist, right? But there's different types of capitalism. Regulated capitalism, which is private ownership and some government control. And then they have the laissez-faire capitalism, which is private ownership and no government control. Maybe issues if there's no government control. However, for someone who is very smart and who's an entrepreneur, this would benefit them because they would have no restrictions on what they wanted to do. Whereas some government control, standard of maybe working conditions, maybe certain type of things they have to do, regulations, etc. When we're talking about dictatorship versus democracy, so now we're in the purple. Dictatorship, government has all control. And it's kind of interesting because we see that in the very left wing, so in communism, and the very right wing, fascism, which almost kind of gets us confused here, but don't let that confuse you, okay? The reason why we'd say fascism is a dictatorship is because there is no competition with another political party. Mussolini was able to kibosh that and only have one political party, so technically he had all the control. Democracy is something that we practice here in Canada, in the United States, and in many countries worldwide. People have a vote and have a say in government. That means that they vote who gets to be in power, who gets to make the decisions, and what kind of government they will have. I hope this makes a little more sense to you. If you have any questions, please ask me and I will do my best to help you.